Well, Ukraine is being destroyed, and there is no end in sight for the war in Ukraine. Those aren't my words. Those are the words of the Ukrainian dictator, Vladimir Zelensky. He now says he's not seen any European plan to end this war. Nothing. He's heard rumors about peace plans, but nothing from his European friends. I guess the Macrons are too busy worrying about her husband's penis to worry about peace in Ukraine. So in other words, keep fighting. Just keep dying. Destroy an entire generation of young men, which is what you're doing in Ukraine. Of course, Ukraine will cease to exist as a country. While President Trump is saying no to Tomahawk missiles right now in Ukraine, P.S., we don't have enough for ourselves. That's the real story here. We don't have enough for the United States, but we're not going to send them to Ukraine. But however, the United States is happy to meet in Ukraine next week to iron out all of our new drone plans that we're going to be sending to Ukraine. That's happening next week. Trump is sending a drone team to Ukraine to announce and iron out the details of this plan. Trump has a drone team? Okay. Meanwhile,
a drone team to spare.
Right. Like, okay, we're going to send our drone team to Ukraine?
Oh, wait till
war.
You see what they're doing with drones in just a second.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
you'll be so glad.
Yeah, exactly. So overnight, a new round of drone strikes inside of Russian territory in the Belgorod region. Over 120 drone attacks in that area, targeting civilians, something they love to do. I'm not sure why, like, Ukrainians love to target civilians. They've been doing it for about 10 years or longer in the Donbass region, in Donetsk and those areas, hitting schools, hitting parks, hitting apartment complexes. No strategic or military value other than terrorism. So this video surfaced on Monday of a Russian civilian, an older man walking his dog with a white flag. You can see the drone floating right in front of him. He's saying, hey, I'm just walking my dog. And, well, Ukraine decides to kill him anyway. We blurted out. You can see the drone just hovering there and killing him regardless.
Oh, it's horrible. And then this gentleman comes up. He crosses himself. He looks at his just kinsman as he's dying there, and he gets droned too. It's just the worst. I don't know if you want to.
Oh, there, yeah, that's him crossing himself.
He gets it next, and you can watch this yourself. Yeah. I linked to it in the newsletter, but it's horrific.
Well, we just saw it, so
you don't need to go see the second dude.
We did. We just showed it.
I think we stopped. Anyway,
we just showed it. I just pointed out that he was crossing himself. But anyway, James Carden is a journalist who spent plenty of time in Ukraine, knows it very well. He's the author of the Realist Review. He joins us once again here on the show. James, welcome back to the show. Great to see you.
Well, thanks for having me.
You know, I have to say your first appearance on the show, people loved it because they said we need more in-depth analysis of what's happening there. So a lot of people really singing your praises last time you were here on the show. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it because we get caught up in little sound bites and things like that, but your nuanced study of this region is really important. So I want to say that up front. James, I want to get your take on something the Russians have been saying. The head of the Russia's SVR intelligence service warned all of us that the world is now experiencing, quote, the most fragile moment for international security since World War II. He says we are entering the most dangerous phase. And he says we certainly see European members of NATO preparing for war with our country. So Zelensky hasn't seen a plan for peace coming from European leaders. It seems like it's because Europe is preparing for a full-blown war with Russia. What say you?
Well, I think he's wrong. I think probably the closest we've come is actually the Cuban Missile Crisis. I think that's probably the more appropriate analogy. I think that the threats coming from Europe are ridiculous. It should be treated with the contempt that they deserve. They have absolutely no ability to do anything without American arms and approval. So really, the ball is in the court of Zelensky and Trump. And hopefully, Mr. Trump will do what he needs to do to end this. And so far, it seems to me that he's been unwilling to go the whole way. He's been trying to placate the two camps within the Republican Party to not much effect. So one hopes that Mr. Trump's instincts prevail, as well as the advice that he's getting from his America First advisors, like Steve Bannon and like Tucker Carlson, and presumably like the vice president. but we'll have to wait and see.
But the appetite for ending this war, the appetite for even discussing it seems to be gone. Nobody has Ukrainian flag in their bio anymore. The world is concentrated on Gaza right now. It seems like why not just do it now when there is not this major appetite to continue to affront against Russia, to continue an affront against Russia? There's like, why not? Who is holding on? Who is holding this together right now?
Well, you must live in a far better place than I do, because I live in Washington and I see the flags all over the place still.
Still,
And
okay.
I think that
They're like skinny jeans. That's not the cool war.
No, up the street there's a flag. There's a Ukrainian flag flying.
Yes, one
Yeah.
idiot in our neighborhood.
well, I would trade that. I think the problem is that for all of the kind of transformative nature of Mr. Trump and his importance as a political figure over the past decade, the fact of the matter is that he's yet to have been able to transform the Republican Party in terms of foreign policy and the way that the party establishment looks at foreign policy. Now, we know that the voters agree with Mr. Trump. They agree with Mr. Trump's America First policy. We know that Republican voters are not on board, by and large, with this war. On the other hand, the Hill is still the Hill. And the fact of the matter is that he is getting a lot of pushback from the Republican old guard, the old guard as personified by people like Mitch McConnell. Mike Johnson has not been a particularly good voice on this. So he has a kind of old line neoconservative Republican establishment on the Hill that he needs to work with to accomplish his other legislative priorities. The other problem, of course, is that he let a lot of neocons into his second administration. Some of us had hoped that he would have learned from the mistakes of his first administration.
Yeah.
But he didn't. And so, the kind of, as we all know, Dick Cheney passed away last night. Well, that kind of strand of Republican thinking is far from dead within the Republican Party. It's very much alive in Washington. And that's what Trump partially kind of has to confront.
Right. I mean, he's singing the praises of Lindsey Graham, one of his first campaign stops. Senator Lindsey Graham, a bloodlusting warmonger who would love nothing more than to wipe Vladimir Putin off the face of the earth, and showing his support 100%. for Ukraine. So Trump is sending this drone team there next week. It seems to me like, the Ukrainian army has been decimated. We're entering a very cold winter now. Ukrainian soldiers, experts we've had on the show say, like, you've had very few soldiers per kilometer to guard against. Putin just recently, or the Russian army just surrounded a couple of big key targets that continue to move in. What is the goal with these drones? Why would the Trump administration want to continue to send drones to Ukraine to hit civilians?
It's war on the cheap. So it's a way for the Trump administration to say to Zelensky, well, we're supporting you, we're doing something. It's a way to keep the Europeans off our backs. The Europeans have become nearly as bloodthirsty as people like Lindsey Graham. And it's also something that, American presidents have been doing now for quite some time. The master of drone killings is none other than Barack Obama.
Right.
Under the tutelage of his sinister and moronic director of Central Intelligence, John Brennan, Obama would page through kill lists and kill 10 times as many people via drone than George W. Bush ever did. So, what we have at the core of the problem in Washington is this bipartisan bloodlust. And it's something that is a real challenge and is going to take Trump a lot of political capital to overcome.
And it may be a reflection in what you see in this election today. I mean, right, James? I mean, I think so many Americans thought they were signing up for get us out of these foreign entanglements. You're going to end the Ukraine war on day one. You're going to put peace in Gaza. We're not going to start a new war in Venezuela. We're not going to start a new war in Somalia. We're not going to start a new war in Nigeria, for crying out loud. And Americans are wondering, where the Epstein files are. Where is this America First plan that we were hearing so much about, and we're continuing to fund Zelensky? I guess you may see this today. I mean, what's your sense of that in these polls that we're seeing? It looks like it could be a walloping for Trump.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think that part of the party right now is MIA. And it's partially MIA because Trump has brought into his administration people like Sebastian Gorka, who is very eager to copy the playbook of the Bush-Cheney global war on terror. And Gorka has been pushing for war and intervention all over Africa, all over the Middle East. And you can't transform a policy if you have these unhinged people surrounding you. The president is a very, very busy person, obviously. He's dealing with the shutdown. There's politics. There's all sorts of bills up on the Hill. You need to have a foreign policy team that is like-minded. If not, they're going to use the bureaucracy to work against you. And I'm really worried that what happened during the first term is about to happen in the second term.
Right. Yeah. No, I think you're right about that. I mean, and by the way, you wrote a great piece on Sebastian Gorka. I encourage people to read it at your website. Do you have another question?
No.
Well, I guess maybe you can give us a 30,000 foot level of what you think the next big move is on Ukraine from the Trump administration, Zelensky. We know that summit got canceled in Budapest. Where do things stand as we head into these freezing cold winter months?
Honestly, I think that the only way that the war ends is if the Russians decide to break through the line of contact. Once that happens, the Ukrainian defenses are going to collapse. And what they've been doing thus far, as we all know from the reports that we've been getting from people like Colonel McGregor, is the Russians have been waging a war of attrition. They've been steadily killing as many Ukrainian soldiers as they possibly can in order to weaken the front. Once the front is sufficiently weakened, the Russians are going to have to make a decision whether or not to sue for peace at the line of contact or break through further. It seems to me that Zelensky is a hostage in a way to the Ukrainian ultras who started this thing on the Maidan in 2014. He can't sue for peace necessarily because it'll cost him, I believe, it'll cost him his life. So we're not in for any quick fix here. And I think that this thing grinds on at least through the spring, maybe into the summer of next year.
Jeez. Who will be left at that point? Unbelievable. Yeah.
I mean, it's a theft of human life, and it's a theft of the American dollar. It's a theft from all of us who sit the European dollar. It's horrible. So thank you for that.
Thank you, James.
Yeah. Maybe not optimistic, but realist. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, that's the name of your name of your website, for crying out loud. The Realist Review.
Right. The Realist Review on Substack. Thanks.
He's not here to be an optimist or a negative Nancy. He's here to be a realist.
All right. We asked for it.
Thank you, James. We asked for it. Thanks, James. Great to see you.